We are now into the quarterfinals of the Champions League, first time since 2010. And Frank, do you know who we did that against the last time? The last time we was in the quarterfinals?
Of course I know who we did that to. It was
Tell
Porto.
the people.
It was Porto, guys. And we got to the semi-final that year, I believe. And unfortunately got knocked out against Manchester United. But obviously with them not being very good anymore and not being in the competition, there's no more Manchester United to knock us out this year. So
Actually, I was at that game.
Really?
Well, yes, I was.
The Ronaldo free kick one?
Yeah. Right, anyway, that was in the past. This is very much in the present. Let's talk about tonight. Let me ask, what do you think of the game? I mean, for me, it was quite a nervy game. As I knew it would be.
Quite
you know what I mean?
a nervy game.
As I knew it would be. Like I've said from time, and I'm trying not to like give myself too much credit, but I was in amongst a lot of Arsenal fans who, right from this draw was made, they seemed to think it would be easy work. And I'd sort of gone online and done my research about Porto. I knew that they were a good team with some good young players, a good manager, resilient, and I knew that they would be a test. They beat us in the corresponding fixture back in February, and whilst I was surprised about that, I wasn't shocked because I knew it'd be a difficult game. And then again tonight, the narrative heading into this game was, don't worry, we'll get an early goal and we'll go on and smash them. And I was telling people, listen, man, I do think we'll go through 2-0, I was predicting, but it's not going to be easy. I was expecting another tight game, and so it proved.
No, 100%. And I agree. I thought it was going to be close, and I also predicted a 2-0. I didn't think it was going to be that close. That's for sure. And, you know, that sent my stress levels through the roof. And that was the one thing I was trying to avoid this week ahead of my fight on Saturday. But
do you think after Trossard scored that goal in the first half, do you think we would have been going to extra time? Or do you think
I didn't. No, I thought, right? Obviously, I know it came a little bit late. I said before the game, ideally, we get one in the first 15 minutes just to open the game up a little bit. But after Trossard's goal, again, it still continues to be fairly flat. I'll be honest with you, I don't think either team played particularly well. No. It was a very scrappy game, lots of fouls. I'd be interested to know, how do you know they get the stats sometimes? You've got the 90 minutes and how many minutes of that was actually in play. I'd be interested to know how much of that was actually in play today. Because I'm sure I didn't see more than 40 minutes of football out of the 90 today. But very scrappy game. I don't think either team, can be particularly proud of a performance like that, really. But ultimately, all that matters is that Arsenal got the job done. We're through to the quarterfinals. And we go from there. Exactly.
What I would say about the game is, tell me what you think about this. I didn't think that, how can I put it? Right, so there was a lot of people saying before the game that Porto would effectively come and park the bus.
They didn't.
And they did not, did they? They actually did show some ambition. They tried to counter-attack us, and they did get men forward. It wasn't like, 4-5-1, one man up front, defend for your lives and hope for a goal from a set piece or lumping the ball up top and seeing what they can do. They was actually a lot more measured than that. So I do give them credit for that. But I would agree with you, it wasn't the best game in terms of quality. Both teams looked a bit nervous. Both teams didn't actually, there was no real flow or, established. However, it was an intriguing game. Because when we got that goal, you're thinking, we're going to go on now and do it. But we just couldn't quite get it across the line. And as time went on, I'm thinking, this is going to go penalties. I don't want it to, but it's had that kind of feel to it, But I was kind of confident when it went to penalties that we would win. Because I'd known that David Raya has a reputation for being good on penalties.
You say that. I looked at the stats during the game, and I think no one wanted me to read them out, but I looked at it. David Raya has faced 36 penalties across his career. He's only saved 4.
Oh, really? Well, I was told that he was good on penalties. So I might have
maybe in penalty. I'd imagine that those stats probably don't include penalty shootouts, but obviously that's in-game penalty. So I know it's slightly. But most
keepers are going to concede. The majority,
of course, right? Absolutely.
But I remember reading somewhere or somebody telling me something that he's good on penalties.
Possibly, but stats.
But he certainly was good tonight because
absolutely.
He saved 2. He got his hand to a couple of the others as well.
100%. Yeah, no, there was the one where he got his fingertips to, and his wrist just wasn't strong enough on that occasion. Thankfully, it didn't affect us. But if you look at individual performances, I don't think anyone really throughout I was about to say 90, but throughout the 120, David Raya for me good performance in the penalty shootout. Didn't really have much to do throughout the game apart from one good save. Leandro Trossard getting the goal, but really apart from that didn't really affect the game much. And
I thought Odegaard
had a decent game for me. I don't think he was standout, I suppose. Don't get me wrong, fantastic assist.
Yeah.
But I don't think it was your typical Martin Odegaard performance. I think just above average performance from Martin Odegaard today.
Let's hear what the people have got to say. You got the app there, people. Download the app and you can get through to us and let us know what you think. Arsenal qualifying for the quarterfinals of the Champions League. So it's the first time in 2010, as I've said in my fan cam and on the watch along, that the final of the Champions League this year is actually being held in London in June.
Oh, wow.
What would it be if Arsenal could get there? It would be amazing. But anyway, I understand it. Keon. Hey,
Keon.
There he is.
Hey guys.
Hey,
how are you?
I can see the smile.
I can tell you, my girlfriend was very unhappy with me for the whole match, just how emotional I was throughout it.
Yeah, it was. It wasn't the greatest game in terms of quality, but it was a very intriguing game because you're waiting for Arsenal to get that early goal. That never come. We went close a couple of times, but you're thinking, need a goal. Then we do get one from Trossard and you're thinking, right, that's it now. We'll open things up a bit and we can go on and win. But that didn't happen. And then, of course, Porto had a couple of opportunities themselves. So it was a real tight game in many ways. So just so relieved.
Yeah,
We've got to ask you, Keon, when it went to penalties, how confident were you? Tell the truth. Were you confident or not?
I thought back to Sporting Lisbon and I was like, oh, no, please don't be again. Please don't happen again.
I must admit, I was quite confident when it went to penalties, if only because we were at home. And I was saying to the other guys in here that if we win the coin toss, we'll probably take our penalties at our end, the North Bank end, so that will suit us. And that's exactly what happened.
Well, I think they both went our way. We won the coin toss to have it at our end, and then we won the coin toss to take the penalties first.
Yeah.
And in the penalty shootout, it's always important you take the penalties first, realistically, because it puts more pressure on, especially when you're at home as well.
Yep, absolutely.
And I think one thing I have to say from that, we have to give credit where it's due. Pepe for Porto, for a guy who's, I think he's 41.
Yes,
I have never seen someone play so well defensively at that age in Champions League football, which is incredible.
Yeah, they had another guy, Pepe, playing up top. I thought that might have been his son. I had to check that. It wasn't.
Pepe Junior.
It wasn't. But yeah, you know what? I thought Porto defended very well pretty much throughout the whole game. And obviously Pepe was a big part of that. I thought he was excellent. Yeah, Frank, you got anything on that?
Yeah, of course. Obviously, we're through to the quarterfinals now, and obviously we've still got a few games to be decided in terms of who else is going through to the quarterfinals.
Yeah,
I don't want to say we're fearful of anyone, but is there anyone in that next round of the draw on Friday that you would rather avoid for the quarterfinals?
I would say Man City, just for the point is they're our next game, and obviously if the result doesn't go our way, will that affect them in the run? I'd rather play, if we got to the final, I'd rather a Man City in a final, because I think in a final we'd beat them.
Anything can happen.
I think over 2 legs, I think Man City might have the better of us. And don't get me wrong, we have a great squad, but I think Man City are very good over 2 legs in Champions League football, because 1 leg they can play really poorly, and then the second leg they can kind of kick into a new gear. But I'm just happy because it's my birthday on Thursday, and I got an early birthday present from Arsenal.
Yeah, many happy returns. Yeah, happy birthday in advance, bro. Just want to ask you quickly, what do you make of this? So I've been online since the win, and I'm already seeing some of the fans from other clubs saying Arsenal getting overexcited. They've gone life and death with Porto, blah, blah, blah. What do you say to those fans who are saying that?
It's just a celebration police, out again. Can't celebrate anything. So at the end of the day, they're just jealous because a lot of them aren't playing Champions League football and have to watch Arsenal in the quarterfinals of the Champions League football now.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I said. And you know what? If we'd have lost, they'd have said we'd have bottled it. You bottled the penalties at home and so yeah, they can say what they want. At the end of the day,
I'll just say this. I'm looking forward to Best of Enemies tomorrow and seeing Expression's face now with Robbie.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Yeah, let him hold that. Right, okay. Listen, we've got to move on, but thanks very much. You're our first caller today.
Ian, and happy birthday.
Happy birthday, and hopefully speak again soon. Take care.
Yeah, no, cheers, lads.
Cheers. We've got Elliot on the line.
Yes, Elliot.
Elliot's there and stunting with that cigar.
Laurie, the Frank, how are you?
I'm absolutely thrilled, Elliot, to be honest. How are you?
You know what? In the words of Peter Hillwood, never in doubt.
I was going to say, you look more like Rick Ross there with that cigar.
I'm trying to bring a little class to the show, you know. This is a Cohiba cigar, straight from Havana.
Yeah, it looks it.
Yeah. I'll only light this if we win the Champions League. If we win the Champions League, I will light this live on air. I will do it, and I will smoke it.
What about the Premier League?
I will enjoy
Would you light it for that? Would you light it for the Premier League? Oh, okay.
I will light it. Premier League as well. I'll put that extension out there. Yes, indeed. I will light it for the Premier League as well. Yes, it would. Yes,
sounds good.
Absolutely.
What do you think of the game? What do you think of the game today?
Listen. It had everything. It had joy, it had pain, it had sunshine, it had rain, and at the end of the day, we managed to keep ourselves dry. And listen, you don't wish for these certain things, but I tell you what, it's not good for the heart. I'll tell you that.
Definitely not.
Not good for the heart. I definitely had a defibrillator nearby, on standby, just in case. I had to leave this mortal coil. But anyways, nonetheless, luckily I got to stick around.
Be honest with me, yeah? I want you to be honest with me. Did you think it would be as difficult as it proved tonight, or was you one of those that were actually thinking, you know what, this could be a big test?
I thought it was going to be a bit easier. Listen, truth be told, I said 3-0. But listen,
so you did think
credit Conceição and Porto, they made it really difficult. Yeah. You can see that these guys are, proven Champions League campaigners. They know exactly how to listen. That was probably the toughest match we had all year. And I'm including Liverpool, I'm including Man City, I'm including all those clubs involved as well.
You know what? You make a very good point there.
That was the toughest match of the year.
Yeah. Certainly at home, anyway, because
definitely at home. I would say anywhere. I have never seen us go through the motions as we did tonight. That was a real, emotional match, to say the least. But I'm happy that we got the result. Credit Ryan. Listen, I'll say this. To anybody who says that we want to hand this guy back to Brentford, go get your heads examined, because he's not going anywhere now. He's number one. If he's not number one to you before, he's number one now. Ramsdale, I love you, buddy, but you pretty much wrote your epitaph with that little giveaway at the end, near the halftime of the Brentford match.
Brentford game, yeah.
So, yeah, but hey, listen, I was screaming like a little girl out there tonight, and I woke up the whole house, as you do. And yeah, I was, I ripped off my shirt. Listen, it was not exactly the best of sight. I'll say that.
No, but you're very entitled.
Any credit.
You're very entitled to get excited, man, because this is new territory since 2010. A whopping
2010.
14 years ago.
I was 8 years old the last time we qualified for the quarterfinals.
14 years ago, man. So listen, man, you enjoy your moment. Any thoughts on who you want to get in the next round?
Next round, listen, you know what? I'm not afraid of Barca. I'm not afraid of Bayern. The only two sides I'm really...
to say nowadays, isn't it? if you
would
have said that 10 years ago.
Exactly. Exactly. When Gazidis was here, we could have said his thing. We were supposed to face the likes of... remember Gazidis and what he had to say, and he was supposed to be facing the likes of of Bayern now are actually, taking their players.
I think the only team that I would studiously want to avoid is City.
Madrid?
City and Real I don't want right now. Those are the only two sides I don't want right now.
Because we're playing them in the league and it just muddy the water a little bit. Anyone else I'll take. But listen, bro, Elliot, thank you very much. Big up the T-Dot Massive.
Indeed.
And speak to you again soon.
Thank you, sir.
Take care, Elliot.
And this will be lit when we win Champions of Premier League.
I look
have
forward
it
to
on
it.
standby.
I look
Indeed,
forward to
mate.
it.
Cheers.
Take
Nice
care,
one.
Elliot.
See you. Duncan's on the line. Yes.
How's it going, Duncan?
You right, lads?
I'm good, man. I'm good. How
All
are
right.
you?
I'm still honestly shaking with adrenaline. That's not going to be sleep soon.
You're so right. You're so right.
The last weeks have been so incredibly nervy. When Harvard scored the ball against Brentford, I punched the wall, and now I was screaming, so I don't really think neighbors like me that much. But we move. We're on to the quarterfinals, and I think that's what matters.
Yeah, and
So,
you know what it is? You make a good point. We're finding different ways to win games apart from just smoking teams, and that's stands us in good stead for future weeks coming up, because I was saying to a couple of colleagues a few weeks ago actually that you're not going to beat every team 3-4, 5-0. There are going to be games when you have to dig in and grind it out, and I think today we did that. I mean, okay, it was on penalties, but it does take a lot of cojones to get that job done. So yeah,
I mean, I don't really mind winning every match with 5-6-0, but of course that's not really realistic.
That's right.
One thing I do want to say though is the rival fans are instantly on social media. You were also instantly on social media after the game. Not even a minute was ended and it was already AFTV is jumping around. It's crazy. I could personally never see myself 1 minute after the game of City or something commenting, ha, you're not even gonna win, something like that.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Well, apparently a lot of people had something to say because we did our little huddle
Yeah,
there.
so when we done for the penalty shootout, we all huddled together, and I think the majority of, mainly Twitter really, was saying that we looked like we were stepping up to take a penalty. But we
felt like it.
We felt we were with the team.
Yeah,
today,
we were trying to project some positive energy onto the team. We wanted to stand in solidarity with the team, and listen, it worked out well. So we're cool, man.
I couldn't watch the penalties for a second. I think I missed like 3 of all penalties. I was just watching you with the commentary turned off. I couldn't watch it.
I was quite confident when it went to penalties, I was saying, I genuinely was quite confident. I just thought us being at home, I'd heard, my colleague Frank here is telling me that it's possibly not the case, but I've been told that Raya was good on penalties. And certainly when it went to penalties, you saw he did look very calm, measured. I saw Mikel Arteta and a few of the other players. The way they were speaking to him, it was almost as if to say, man, yeah, you got this. They did seem confident.
Yeah,
the body language did look on point.
Yes, that's right. I mean, he saved 2, almost 3, but his finger was just not strong enough, I guess.
Yeah.
But one player I do really want to mention is Kiwior, to be fair. I think Kiwior played really outstanding. I don't miss Zinchenko at all. I think Zinchenko looked a bit nervy, but of course he came back from injury as well. But I think with the high balls over the defensive line, Kiwior is more our type of player we could use. I think Zinchenko bites a lot under the ball. So
yeah. He had a few shaky moments, but then all the back line did, because, as I was saying to Frank earlier, Porto got some nippy young players, and they, once, especially when the ball goes over the top like that, they do make it difficult for you. But all in all, it was a great night. Any thoughts on who you want to see Arsenal get in the next round?
I was waiting for the question. I heard this person before saying Bayern, but I would really not like Bayern. I think the German teams just have something extra. I would say Barcelona, perhaps. Definitely not City or Madrid. I think Barcelona, Paris Saint-Germain, I think we do. But then again, I thought we would do Porto today really easily, but it turned out the case.
Yeah, you know what? I don't think there's going to be any easy games at this stage of the competition. All the teams are good, and they're all quite tactically nuanced. They're all good. What about Arsenal versus PSG? That would be a good look.
Yeah, I would think so. I mean, we got 2 good defenders. Only Mbappe is a bit tricky, of course.
We've seen
wouldn't mind him seeing an Arsenal shirt, of course, but I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon.
We've seen William Saliba back pocket Kylian Mbappe in his time at Marseille. So, PSG isn't a team, and I'm going to say this with touching wood, of course, PSG isn't a team that concerns me at this stage, that's for sure.
But I think with PSG, though, the one thing I would say about, especially with Mbappe being in a team, if you get them on any given night, I do think they're capable of beating almost any team, especially with that guy in form.
I have a question for you, though, if I can ask.
Sure.
When Arteta took Jorginho for Jesus, I think it was. What was your thoughts on that? Because I thought our midfield was gone, and Porto got a bit of the overhand. We took it back, of course, but of course we won, so now we can say, of course. But
yeah, you know what? I must admit, I didn't disagree with the substitution because the way I looked at it, I looked on the positive side of it. I thought he was trying to get an attacking player on the pitch to possibly try and create a goal in the time allotted. I don't know what time that substitution was. The only issue that I had with the substitutions is that,
late.
and I don't want to dwell on that because I don't want to come across as criticising the manager, but I've often felt that he needs to be a bit more proactive with his substitution.
Agreed.
So I wanted to see subs made earlier, but hey, it worked out well in the end. But listen, bro,
we
won. Yeah, exactly. That's the main thing. But listen, thank you very much for your call.
Yeah, no problem.
And you must call back soon. Enjoy talking to you.
I will.
Take care. All right, nice one. Harry's on the line.
Hello.
Hey.
How you doing?
Hello, Harry.
Yeah, man. What was your thoughts?
It's hard to say at the moment because I think I'm just off the high. I thought during the game, maybe just because it's frustrating that I thought we was going to lose it. Can't lie.
Right.
Yeah.
At least you're honest.
I don't know.
What made you think that? If you don't mind me asking.
I'm really. What's the word? I just don't like jinxing it, so I'm really negative on purpose to try and unjinx it.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
I was saying all gamers go, oh, why is he bringing Kitty on? He's going to do rubbish. But in my head, I think, he's going to do bits. But there's a few things I want to say. I don't know why the manager's having a go. I'll test it right now. I don't know if you caught that.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
I think he may have felt aggrieved that a couple of decisions didn't go his way. That was probably what it was.
Yeah, but it's the same for us. I think I found my new rivals, to be honest. There was something about Porto really just grating on me.
Yeah, I could see where you're going with that. They are niggly. They are niggly like that, aren't they?
Yeah.
They do know how to get under your skin. Yeah, they do.
Yeah, but fair play to them. Yeah, they absolutely they gave us a hard time.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Big up to Raya as well because I'm a massive Ramsdale fan. But tonight he's he's leveled that up. I completely understand why Arteta's chosen. So overall, I'm just excited for the moment. I'm sure tomorrow is going to be a lot more thoughts on it. But that's right.
God, just out of interest, obviously you've mentioned obviously praising a certain player in David Raya for his performances. I'm assuming in the penalty shootout, he made a fantastic save during the game as well. I'm going to tie this into a super chat that we've just received as well from Jay Mills, and mainly talking about his performance today. Bukayo Saka isn't world class yet. Love him, but poor today. What did you make of Bukayo's performance? What did you make of his performance? And B, what did you make of? Because I think most people will agree that it wasn't his best game today. What did you make of Mikel Arteta's decision not to substitute him in the end? Do you think that affected the team in any way?
I was surprised. I can't lie. I thought Saka was having a quiet game as well. I still think he was giving Porto a bit of hassle on the wings because I think they were still doubling up, tripling up on him sometimes, leaving a bit of space in the middle for Odegaard to play about. But yeah, clinically, I think a little bit of a weak performance. World class. For me, I've got to wait until the end of the Champions League because it's just one game so far. Because all the other Champions League games, really, he's been smashing it as well as Jesus. I let him off for today for this game just because we've won and he scored his penalty. I don't know why his penalty was the only one I was a bit nervous for. I don't know if it's because the Euros.
I think we know why.
Yeah. But it's the only one I was a little bit nervous for. But yeah, he smashed it, proved everyone wrong. There's another debate I heard the commenters say about Ramsdale and Raya, saying who should Arteta make the switch. I was saying, put Ramsdale on.
He was never doing that.
Because he's a good shot stopper. Proved me wrong again. I think he almost saved the third one, didn't he? He almost caught it.
He did.
But yeah. In terms of world class, I love Saka. For me, he's world class, but I think for everyone to get on board with that, he's just going to have to prove it in Champions League. I think then people say he's world class.
No, I agree. Number one, I do think Saka is world class, definitely. And number two, I do agree with you. He didn't have his greatest game today by far. In fact, I thought he was below par today, if I'm being honest. And I'm saying that as a big fan of his. However, I kept saying in the stream, I don't think Arteta will take him off for two reasons. Number one being that we know even we've seen it in the past when he's not been playing well, he'll still pop up and provide a pivotal moment in the game. That didn't happen today, but I think the manager would have left him on for that purpose. And secondly, the manager would have been aware that the possibility that the game could go to penalties. And of course, Saka is our chief penalty taker. So, the way he put his penalty away today, he would have been under a lot of pressure, the Euros thing, the fact that he's not been playing well. And yet his penalty was one of the better ones. So, fair play to him.
What do you think of the disallowed goal? Because personally, as much as I know it's a foul, he didn't give a foul on who's it? He pulled someone in the box when it should have been. He gave the foul on Havertz for pulling in the box. So it was an offside. It was
he pulled
foul,
Pepe,
so it wasn't a goal.
Yeah, I think he pulled Pepe.
Pepe. So I don't know where the consistency.
I think the ref got that one right. To be honest.
I think he got that one as well. I'll be honest with you, I completely forgot about that, and of course, obviously, all the madness of the penalty shootout. But the second you mentioned the disallowed goal, my knee started hurting because during the watch along, we scored the goal, and I decided to knee slide on the hard floor that we've got here in the studio.
Crazy.
So thank you for reminding me about that. But yes, absolutely, I do think it was probably the right decision that was made for that goal.
Just want to ask you quickly. Some people have said, I mean, me personally, I put my cards on the table. I thought the ref had a decent game because I thought that game was very difficult to referee properly because you had both sets of players are trying to put the referee under pressure, especially the Porto players, and so he was constantly under scrutiny and under stress from the player. I thought he got most things right. What do you think of the ref? Performance.
Yeah, I thought we got most things right. Yeah, there's a few little things that he got wrong, but it wasn't like biased towards either team. I think it's quite consistent with that. And like you said, it was an aggressive game, so it's going to be a lot of decisions that he had to make. I think what was it, Trossard's dad or something? Everyone's saying
Trossard Senior.
I see a comment saying it's Trossard but more awake. So I thought it was right. I thought it was fine. I wish more Premier League refs were like that. Just let the game flow a bit more. But I thought it was fine.
And just finally, I've asked a lot of the other callers your thoughts on who you'd like to see next, or maybe you've got a particular team that you don't want to play in. Maybe that's more appropriate.
Bayern. I think just because of Harry Kane, he's smashing it at the moment, and I think that will be a Harry Kane derby. If we was to fall Bayern, that would just be more pressure, as much as it already is. So I'm nervous for all of them, to be honest with you. I'm not nervous, Nelly, but Bayern, I wouldn't really like to have at the moment.
I see that. Okay, mate. Thank you very much. Thanks for your call, and hopefully speak to you again soon.
Take care.
Take it easy. See you later.
Nice one. Robin. Is that right, Robin?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Yeah, man. Good. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Boston.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah. Boston. Yeah, nice one. I've never been to Boston. I've heard a lot about it. I heard it's a great place.
Right now, it is kind of cold, but I'm sure it's very similar weather to what you guys get out there.
It's
the exact same here.
Been very wet today, man. It's been pouring down rain all day. But anyway, to the game. What was your thoughts?
I thought that this game was set up perfectly for the way that Arsenal likes to play. I thought that Porto was really going after the game, despite them being up 1-0. They clearly set the tone early on that they weren't going to sit back and give Arsenal possession, which I think is perfect for the way that we like to play. We like to put in through balls. We like to get in behind with our pacey wingers. You guys were talking with the previous caller that Saka didn't play particularly well. And, I agree with that. I don't think he had his best game. No. But, that happens to everyone.
Yeah.
And like you guys said, I don't think that he took him off because that just kind of shows the trust that Arteta has in him to, one, play himself out of the lackluster performance. Yeah. And then secondly, that it's all he needs is one chance to really, solidify a good pass or even score. So, I wasn't upset that he didn't take him off.
I'm with you on that. I mean, I identified earlier, I said that there are two reasons I gave. Number one, we know he's one of our best players and he's got moments in him. So I've seen previously where he's not played that well, but then he'll pop up with a goal or an assist or a pivotal moment in the game. And then the second thing is he's the club's chief penalty taker. And obviously if the game goes to penalties, you would back him to score his penalty. even if he's not playing that well in the game, which is exactly what he did today. Frank, you got anything you want to add?
Yeah, so I just out of interest, I'd just like to know, obviously, if you look at the teams that have gone through in the round of 16 already, we're looking at the likes of Bayern Munich, we're looking at the likes of PSG, Real Madrid have gone through, Man City have gone through, Barcelona went through tonight, and of course still to be decided are Dortmund, PSV and Atletico Madrid and Inter Milan. Just out of interest, is there any of those teams that you'd be looking at, A, to avoid, or B, that you'd want to be drawing in the next round?
I think in these stages of the competition, it's tough for everyone. And I've always said that if you want to be the best, you have to beat the best. And I don't think if you were to ask the likes of City or Real Madrid if they want to avoid anyone, they'll say bring it on. And I think that we should have that same point of view. Like if Arsenal's a big club, then, you know, you can't shy away from these moments. So, you know, whoever comes in whatever condition, I think we have a good enough team to go to any ground and, you know, get the job done.
What do you say to those people? There's a few people online, certainly in the UK, been putting out messages saying, look, Arsenal fans getting carried away. They went life and death with Porto. It wasn't a highly ranked Champions League team. Hey, ha, 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 ha. What do you say to that? Those people who are saying that basically you struggle to beat Porto, so that indicates that you won't go too far in the rest of the competition.
And I mean, it's not just in the UK. Trust me, here in the States, the amount of Arsenal hate is crazy.
Oh wow!
I don't get why.
Really? Is it like that? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't understand why. I get so much hate from my friends.
Wow.
And it's just like the point that I make to them always is that before the Arsenal used to always get laughed at for finishing in fourth, but then as soon as we weren't doing it, and other teams like, oh, top four, it's like, well, when we were doing it was a problem, but now you other bums are getting it. And
they hate us because they ain't us. That's the way I like to look at it.
So
there's a lot of jealousy,
never understood that.
Yeah, there's a lot of jealousy.
I've never understood that.
I saw it online. Immediately the game finished, I saw all these people posting stuff. Oh, he went life and death with Porto. And just jealousy, man. But, yeah, listen, you're right. We had a job to do. You can only beat what's put in front of you. It was a difficult game. I expected a difficult game. We got through. Do you think we can go on and win it?
I think that we have the squad to do it. The starters are phenomenal. My only concern, I think, is that we don't have anyone else like Odegaard. I think that Arteta thought that Fabio Vieira could be him. The run of games that he had, to me, wasn't convincing, and that shows because he doesn't play. I think that is something bigger for us to do than a striker like everyone was claiming that we needed. But clearly the last run of games show that we don't. And I think that we really don't need that because he likes to put in Havertz as a number 9. He likes to put Trossard as a number 9. We still have Nketiah on the bench, who I think if he had a run of games, he could do the job. I think that Arteta likes players that are flexible. So having I don't know the names that were being linked with us, but I don't think that those players would fit because he likes more of a winger, striker, like switch kind of player. So I think a replacement for Odegaard or a backup to him would be most important. But we have the squad to go far in both tournaments. And like all big teams, they compete in all fronts. They don't relax on one tournament and give a priority to another one.
Well said, well said. Like that call, man. Thank you very much. Listen, you, first time I've spoken to you, but you made some excellent points. And please ring back again soon. Take care.
Oh, God.
Nice one. Got Deanie on the line. This should be good. Deanie.
What's going on, Logan?
I'm all right, man. I'm all right. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to say anything. I'm going to give the floor to you. Tell the people what you thought of tonight's game.
Well, you know what? We can be happy. At the end of the day, we can be happy because we know in years gone by, like when it's gone to extra time, whether it's Olympiacos, Villarreal, or Atletico Madrid, it's not been great. And I feel like as we was getting towards the game starting, I was just getting a little bit more nervous. But at the same time, I was still confident in the team, even though we do have that history because we've been playing brilliantly all season. We're top in the league right now. And transferring that form to Europe, we know it's not easy. So when it comes to playing European competitions or any competition now, I'm just like, you know what? Let's just win the game. Let's just get through the competition and let's get through to the next round. Whatever we do in the Premier League, the Premier League's the Premier League. We know what we are in the Premier League. We are navigating this as a young team for the first time in a long time now. And we got through a very difficult game. It was a battle out there. It was an absolute serious battle out there. And you know what? For the neutral, it was probably a very entertaining game. For us, obviously, it was heart on the sleeve most of the time. Do you know what I mean? But as the game was going on, even though Porto started off well, Porto did start the game very, very well, and they held us. They definitely held us.
Did Porto surprise you? Because a lot of people say that they were going to come part of the bus, they were going to be negative, and they were going to engage in, what some people call the dark arts. But I must admit, they were a lot more positive and ambitious than I thought they were going to be, if I'm being honest with you. They did get men forward, and they did try and press, and when they won the ball, they did try a counter-attack. And I thought they looked dangerous at times. Yeah.
They did play football. I do agree. I basically agree with your point, Laurie. I do agree with your point. They did, and but at the end of the day, you got to get through that test, and we did do that. Even going through extra time, and even go through penalties as well, and the penalties that we took, and even David Raya as well. Obviously, like, we love Ramsdale, but for the mistake that Ramsdale made against Brentford on the weekend, and then for Raya to do this in a Champions League game in a quarter-final, then to send us through, it's just, Poor Ramsdale, but at the end of the day, it's big up for Arsenal at the end of the day, and we can only be happy with ourselves, and we can only look forward. We can relax for a bit now. We can go into the City game knowing that we're in the quarterfinals of the Champions League, and we can go into that City game knowing that we can beat Man City. We can beat Man City on our day, and we should be feeling very good as Arsenal fans right now. Very.
Absolutely. I'm going to ask you a question that I've asked pretty much all the other callers, and the reason why I'm asking that is because I really am genuinely trying to get a take on what Arsenal fans would want to avoid and so forth. So in terms of the draw coming up this Friday, are there any teams in there that you'd expressly want to avoid? Or similarly, are there any teams that you'd be happy to play? Is there any teams that stand out for you that you think,
Well, do you know what? You'd think that's like almost straightforward, but at the end of the day, the closer you get to the final, because all teams right now, depending on what happens tomorrow and whoever goes through, all teams right now are 180 minutes away from a semi-final. So the closer you get, the finer the margins get. Now, for example, teams like Barcelona and Bayern Munich, Xavi and Tuchel, they're both leaving at the end of the season. So they're both not winning. I don't think they both even have a chance to win the league that they're in. So the Champions League right now is their jewel that they want to win. Real Madrid, they want to get their lit back. Man City, they want to win. They want to retain it at the same time. Yeah. Most teams have their own story or their own reason as to why they want to win it, and we have ours. And it's up to us. Can we do it? It's going to be a very, very tough ask, because now it's going to get, it's really squeaky bum time now. It's the last 10 games of the Premier League season, and we're in the quarterfinals of the Champions League. If we get City, do I want City? It's not that I'm afraid of City, it's because it's the Premier League as well at the same time. And it's like, it's a lot. If
you're asking me, man, I want PSG. I'd love to see us match up against Mbappe.
That would be interesting.
And that could be famous last words, because I do think that PSG on their day are capable of beating anyone. But then so are we. I think we're in that category as well.
We are, and we can be. We absolutely can be. And it's like, what will Arteta do when whoever we get in that draw on Friday? It's about what plan will Arteta have for that team.
Yeah.
What plan will he have? Will he? We're gonna play the same way. It's not like we're gonna play any different. And it's about the players, it's those young players and those experienced players. It's the decision makings in those key moments. We didn't have no crazy hairy moments that I can remember today. Even though it was a bit nervy, we practically managed the game well from what I remember. But it wasn't crazy nervous. So we'll absolutely see what happens. If we get PSG, we'll see what happens. You know what? The only way we even turn Mbappe's head this summer for a transfer to Arsenal is if we win the Premier League and the Champions League. That's the only way we turn Mbappe's head. That's all I'll say on that. But you know what?
Should be easy enough.
Yeah.
But I just think that Mbappe, to me anyway, currently the best player in the world. To get him against Arsenal in the latter stages of the Champions League, that's box office. That's what the Champions League for me is all about. So yeah, I'll take that. But anyway, we've got to draw this to a close, man. You think you're going to be our last caller for tonight as well, if what I've been told in my ear is right. But listen, Danny, it's very appropriate for you to have the last say, and we look forward to speaking to you again very soon. Take care.
You know what? The Frank Laurie is love all the time. Love to the production and love in the chat always. Gunners, we can be happy tonight. Quarterfinals of the Champions League and Man City on the 31st of March. Let's go. Let's do it. Come on.
Well said. Well said. Is that the last call?
I think we got one more.
Oh, we got one more caller. One more caller. Cinco. Frank, I'll let you address this.
Cinco, how's it going, man?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Yeah, I'm all good, thank you. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Brussels, Belgium.
Brussels, Belgium.
Oh, wow.
Okay, fair enough. Cinco, what's your thoughts on the game? Obviously, it was a very tense one, absolutely, but we got there in the end. Give us your thoughts.
To start off positively, obviously buzzing to be through to the next round. Very happy with the result. I do think the boys look nervous out there. I think, especially in the way we played, the ball couldn't stay on the floor. It always went in the air, high balls, trying to get in behind. It didn't feel like our play. To see the long ball go towards Trossard or Saka, it just felt like we weren't as effective in holding the ball in possession in areas where we wanted to have possession. And I think our midfield was the part that was a bit less influential than they usually would be. As you look at Jorginho usually gets brought in to hold the control so that Rice can go and break the lines. But I feel like those two players really weren't able to hold the possession like we like to have it. And therefore, the rest of the team was also playing a bit deeper. And we just couldn't get on their half, play on their half, in my opinion.
Yeah, and you're right about that. And I do give Porto credit for it because they clearly did their homework on Arsenal right from the first game, which is why they surprised a lot of people. And I thought that they were very good opponents. You must be pleased being from Brussels. You saw Trossard, Belgian, get the goal today. What did you think of his performance overall?
I think he was quiet. I think if he doesn't score the goal, we won't be talking about him as positively, honestly. I think we all know that he's a great finisher. I think we all know that he can be quality. But I think, like I said, we all just look nervous out there. And if he doesn't score the goal, thank God he scores the goal. But if he doesn't score the goal, we probably wouldn't be talking about him. So
I think
a player that I personally think that was maybe underrated was Havertz. I feel like he was the one that was able to hold the ball up a bit more. He was the outlet on the long balls. Sometimes we weren't able to, when he knocks it back into midfield, react to it. But he got fouled like 10 times in a game where the referee let the play go. Like he was the one that slowed the game down for us and let us hold possession a bit more. But Trossard, I know that he's quality and that he can do it on his best day, but I don't think this was his best game.
Yeah, it wasn't his best game. Where I will give him credit, though, even though he didn't play well, the way he took that goal, that was a real finisher's finish. And the one thing that we said, all of us said on the sofa when we did the watch-along, is that he's probably the best finisher at the club in terms of if you got that one-on-one chance, that ball through there, he's very likely to put it in. Similarly, on the other flank, I thought Saka was pretty underwhelming today, to be honest. He didn't have his best game. So, there were a few players that weren't great. But as I've said to one or two other people that, listen, you're not going to blow every team away. And Porto came here today well prepared. They did their jobs. They were diligent. And they made it very tough for us.
100%. I think they deserve a lot of credit in the way that they, I wouldn't call it a low block, it was a mid block. And they really made it hard for our midfield. The ball had to go out wide. Their wing backs were super energetic. They kept going up and down. They were everywhere. Pepe was in contention for man of the match. He really controlled it from the back. Unbelievable what he does at 40 years old. But you have to give them credit. I think it could have gone either way. I held my heart every time they had the ball because you could see that they had quality going forward, and the way they went up the field with speed and intent, it was nervous to watch. But I think at the end of the day, a team of our quality has to go to the next round, so I'm just pleased with the result.
Yeah, absolutely. Any thoughts on who you would like to see us get next? The draw's on Friday. There's some big teams still left. But
yes, I think very unpopular take here. I think we're gonna have a tough draw either way. I think the teams that personally I would love to get. I think the PSV Dortmund draw is going to be very interesting to watch. Either one of those teams we could beat, and among the bigger teams, I think PSG are a team we can take, and Barcelona. But I think other teams look at us also as the team to beat. Honestly, I think a lot of teams will want us in the draw, and they know that on our best day we can dominate the game. But we're gonna have to play with a bit more than today.
Yeah, agreed. Frank, you got any questions for him?
No, I think that's pretty much summed it up for today. Obviously, the only thing I could say is obviously when you look at the last two performances, there's not been your typical 7s and 8-0s that we've been seeing since the start of the year. It's been, they've been very grounding experiences, I would say. I know it's 3 weeks away yet, but obviously having these 2 results before such a long break, how confident are you going into that City game at the end of the month?
I'm super confident. Not overconfident is to say that we're the favorites, but I know the guys can put up a result. I think the way we have transformed ever since the new year, and the way that we are able to control and dominate games. If we are able to hold the ball on City's half and create chances like we've done over the last few months, I definitely think we have a chance. And a lot of people are not looking at us as serious contenders, and I think we have a surprise for them. I definitely think that people have, not given enough appreciation to what exactly we've done since the new year. These results are once in a lifetime, honestly. It's unprecedented. So I think we can do it.
Okay, that's a nice way in which to end the call. Thank you very much, and you must call back soon.
100%. Thank you for having me.
No worries. So there you have it. Arsenal go through on penalties against Porto and are through to the quarterfinals of the Champions League, and we look forward to Friday when we will find out who we get. Like I said, I don't know, man. There are some teams in there, obviously, that are heavy hitters, but that draw, that PSG draw, if we get that, to me, that ticks the box on so many things.
Yeah, no.
In terms of we can beat them, I'm confident we can get through.
Yeah,
and also us coming up against Kylian Mbappe, who in my view is currently the #1 player in the world.
Yeah, no,
that's a box office draw.
Absolutely, and I'm looking at 2. I agree with you on the PSG front as well, but I think the whole Bayern Munich situation would be a good game for us as well. Obviously,
it's interesting because I actually tipped Bayern to win this competition.
There you go.
Before,
of course,
they're not playing that well in the league, as we all know.
Absolutely,
but then even that might mean that they're probably going to throw all their resources at the Champions League.
Of course, absolutely. And I feel like
the Harry Kane factor.
The Harry Kane factor. Obviously, it's going to be nice to see players like Serge Gnabry come back to the Emirates and stuff like that. So I think that would be nice to see. And I just think if you look at all of our potential opponents, I think you'd probably say that the easiest of the draw would probably be the winner of that PSV Dortmund game. But I agree, I can't remember what caller it was, the one that said to be the best you have to beat the best.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I would personally be looking for one of the heavy hitters in this game. And for me,
I think
PSG,
I wouldn't want to play City because we're rivaling them in the.
Don't get me wrong, it's not the case that I don't think we can beat City. We've already proven twice that we can do it. Don't get me wrong, albeit one of them was Community Shield, but regardless,
we still won
win City. We beat them in the league, and we're going to beat them on the 31st as well, obviously. So it's not.
It's not because
it's not that I don't think we can beat them. It's just that I want something different.
Yeah, exactly.
I'd imagine it's going to be a lot more of a challenge over 2 legs and stuff like that as well. But for me, PSG, Bayern Munich, if we get either of those two, A, I'm quite happy with the level of competition that we've got there, and B, I think we're still going through regardless.
Okay then, anything else you want to say in terms of the game tonight?
I think I've been very, very mentally drained.
Yeah, that's what I was going to finish up by saying. It's been a long night. It's nearly 10 past 12 now.
Take a nap here, to be honest.
And I've been thinking about this game all day, man. It's quite drained me, man.
It has. It's just been a long day, that's for sure.
I mean, I think if I was drinking, I'd probably go and pour myself a long, tall glass of wine or something.
Have to join Chip.
But yeah. No, I could see why those guys gone out, having a celebratory drink.
Of course.
I'm probably going to have I don't know what it is.
Celebratory sleep.
Yes.
That's what I'm going to do.
Yes. But listen, thanks, Frank, for doing what you do so well, both on the information station and on the full-time show. Thanks, everybody, for tuning into this show. Thanks for all the people who have commented. Thanks for all the people who watch the watch along. Keep it locked and loaded on AFTV, your one-stop shop for all Arsenal content. We've got a bit of a hiatus now, haven't we? No game now until the City game. But we will still be...
You're going to miss me.
Oh, of course, man. And before you go, I'm going to ask you to talk about something that you'll be engaged in. But you will next see us next week. We're putting out a load of content. We've got games coming up, and we will be on it. But Frank, You got a big event coming yourself
Yeah, so
coming
of
up.
course. So it's finally the week. We got there in the end. We're nearly there. This Saturday, I'm competing in a charity boxing match. You may have seen me mention it on a few of the watch-alongs in the past. Like I said, it's for charity. I'm raising money for a charity called Little Hearts Matter. They are a charity that assists children that are born with a single ventricle heart condition or half a working heart. I had an uncle that was born with this condition, and unfortunately at the start of last year died as a result of complications associated with it. So I'm of course fighting in his honour. We've raised a lot of money for the charity already. We've raised over £1,100 at this point. Obviously you can still donate.
I'm going to put a few quid your way.
I appreciate that, Laurie. I really do appreciate that. And fight week Saturday. It's finally among us. So, and I've found out my opponent is a Spurs fan as well. So even more reason, extra motivation to get the W on Saturday.
Yeah. Well, listen, we wish you all the best with that. And like I said, everybody, thanks for supporting. And we are out. We'll speak to you or see you soon. Bye. Take care.